I promised you another fragrance review, and here I am back for you. I got this one is followed by Kerosene. If you're not familiar with him, he started out as a YouTube reviewer about the same time as myself under Kerosene Truth. I'll put the name down below and link to his YouTube channel, and he turned it into a fragrance house. So his first release was actually something called Rude Elements, and you can see my original bottle of it that he signed here on the back. Quite a bit different than the current bottle packaging. The label actually fell off, but it was kind of similar to this. It was kind of like a metallic thing, if I remember right, but it fell off in a move, and I haven't been able to find it since. I just know this is Rude Elements because obviously it smells like it, and I just remember. So, much better packaging bottle. I really like this. It's basically a brick, as John said. It's like a murder weapon. It kind of is. I like their bottles packaging. It's simple, but what do we actually have in this 2022 release from John at Kerosene? It has coffee, caramel, chocolate, vanilla, Madagascar vanilla, and amber. Lots of heavy notes, lots of sweet notes. Is this going to be a very heavy, dense fragrance? Absolutely. And to that end, you are about to see me do something I never do, except when I am testing fragrances I'm making. I'm going to spray this on a strip, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. I never do this for reviews. You always see me put it on my skin. I'm not going to commit to that this time because I've worn it many times, so I don't need to commit to that, and I'll tell you why later. So, what do we get? Oh my gosh, that's so potent, so strong, but what do you get? Imagine that you walk into a really high-end cafe where they serve waffles, pancakes, lots of rich syrup going on, and at the same time at the counter somebody's grinding really expensive espresso beans and making a really expensive vanilla latte drink, and you're getting all of that combined in this one scent. You'll notice I didn't say anything about top, mid, base because there aren't listed top, mid, base notes, and the reason for that really is because frankly, this is a very linear fragrance. It does not change a lot from top, middle to dry until you get way later into the dry down, and I'll go through each stage of this because it is probably the longest lasting and most potent fragrance I have ever smelled or owned. And you heard me joke about something that needed to be diluted, and for me that is this. So You've heard me what I say what I think it smells like. So it's really that coffee house vibe, kind of similar to what you're looking for when you get a fragrance like Bond Number 9 New Harlem, which you can see for me is a very popular one that I've worn a lot. There's quite a few big differences though with this one. So yes, you have that rich syrupy coffee house vibe, pancake syrup vibe, but there's a lot of other notes in this supporting it. There's also a really heavy dose of lavender in here and some other herbal notes that balance this out so it's not overly sweet. It does transition, have more stages. This just kind of starts with the base dry down and stays there. Nothing wrong with that, but just if you're looking for something that's an experience until you get into the much later stages of this, you're really not going to find that with this fragrance. That said, it is beautiful and probably the most realistic representation of coffee I have ever smelled. I'm sorry I keep closing my eyes, but for me this is an experience. It's such a well-blended fragrance, and I can see why John said he didn't plan to release it, but when he smelled it, he had to. That said, is this fragrance for me? Is it a replacement for Bond Number 9 New Harlem in my collection? Frankly, no. I'm afraid it is not. And I'm about to get into the reason in the ratings. While it smells great, for me, this is the one I was joking about that needs to be diluted. It's just too strong for me. And why I say that and why you saw me not put it on my skin is at about the 20 to 24 hour mark for this one, it stays on my skin, but it starts to pick up this just funky, unpleasant smell that's almost like stale curry. And I know that's so different than what is in here, but I think that's just my body chemistry mixing it. So unless I reapply it that second day and start that process all over, it's like scrubbing, trying to get that curry off or putting something over it, and it just becomes too long of an experience for me. I don't like fragrances that last for days. Like, I got some of this on a jacket. I am not exaggerating this. I have washed it 10 times. It is still there. I don't know what the strength of this is, but it is the strongest fragrance I have ever come across. It makes Tuscan leather look like a baby formula. Like I don't know what else to say. It is so strong. That said, is it a great fragrance? Yes. Will you get compliments? Oh, for sure. But I think this is a little bit too feminine for my taste. It needs something like what New Harlem has, some herbal notes or some fresh citrus, just something to balance out that rich sweetness. For me, it's just too much, and it just becomes too cloying and just not an enjoyable wear for me. As much as I love the smell and think it is a fantastic fragrance, it's just not for me. I think this would smell amazing on a woman, and hopefully as you get longer into it, it doesn't have that same issue. And I'm sure for many people, this is going to be an unstop, like one of their favorite fragrances, and I can see why. It's a very quality fragrance. Like, it's super high quality build. You can tell, but it's just so strong that like I literally put it on, and my wife texted me from upstairs. She's like, "Why do I smell waffles?" And then like the issue was I went up and saw her, and within 5 minutes she had a headache because it's just so strong, and that was with one spray. Like, just a few drops of this is sufficient to smell it. Like, it is that potent. So just be warned, when you put this on for the first time, do not go heavy on the trigger unless you want to choke yourself. Like, it is so strong. And that's not a bad thing if that's what you like, but for me, it's just too strong. So I'll stop repeating myself and get into the ratings here. So, scent. What do I got? I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think the scent is phenomenal. Do I wish it had a little more stages and a few more notes? Yes, I do, honestly. And that's why I deducted a little bit, but it is a fantastic fragrance for what it is. If you're looking for that coffee, syrupy, sweet vibe, this is it. Like, look no further. It's one of the best blended and balanced, but so strong. As far as longevity, I'm going to give it a 20 out of 10. Like, I know that's not possible, but it deserves it. Like, this is nuclear on longevity and projection. 20 out of 10 on projection, too. Just one spray will fill a room. I left a scent strip down here. Again, my wife could smell it in her office directly above me, and she got a headache from it. It literally was so strong it went through the air vents to her. That is insane. I've never had a fragrance do that. As far as the actual packaging and bottle, I'm actually going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's really, really classy for what it is. I wish it had, like somewhere on there the percentage of alcohol so I could figure out just how strong this stuff is. But other than that, I have no complaints. I think it's classy for what it is. It's simple, and that fits Kerosene and John to a T. Versatility, 4 out of 10. I mean, it is what it is. It's a monster fragrance. You can't wear that. I mean, if you want to wear this in hot weather, good luck. I would not recommend it. It's definitely a cold weather fragrance. I think it's too strong to wear to the office personally, so I think that's why it's real low on the versatility. Overall, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10, even though it's not for me. I think it is a beautiful, high-quality release. If you're looking for that coffee house, vanilla, syrupy, sweet vibe, you're going to really enjoy this. That said, I do think it leans a little more feminine, so I think it's going to be more popular with women. But thank you for stopping by. If you like what you saw, please click like and subscribe down below. Sorry, I got my tongue caught there at the end here. Starting to get my dry mouth going a little bit. But I will have some more reviews coming for you again. And thanks again. Appreciate your time.